I just wanted to share that today I had my follow-up checkup with my rehab doctor. For those who prayed and who checked up on me, thank you. I'm okay. I feel like I had a mini graduation today. I got the approval of my rehab doctor that the physical therapy I went through for my back actually worked. So I was really happy today that despite the long queue, it was worth going through the whole process for. You know what? I learned so much about the human body and rehab or physical therapy, rehab medicine in general. There are three things that I learned through my PT sessions, and I'm sure those who are watching this who've been through rehab learn a lot about the human body. There's a lot of lessons we can learn about life through rehab and PT. The first is this: compress. Warm versus cold compress. Do you know the difference? I mean, aside from the obvious difference, which is temperature, but do you know when to use cold and when to use warm compress? I found out from my PT nurses that for acute injury, like as in kakahulog mo lang, kakadapa mo lang, no? You use cold compress for immediate relief of swelling. But if the swelling or the pain has been there for a longer period of time, say 3 to 5 days, something like that, that's when you use warm compress. And it got me thinking, galing no? Ang galing. Para siyang, para siyang discipline. Parang, as a teacher, I sort of related it to disciplining people, even disciplining oneself. Like, when you see somebody, let's say as an educator, if you see a child misbehave, apply cold compress first, right? Which is cold meaning like a direct, immediate correction, especially if the misbehavior is already hurting other people. But if, for example, the misbehavior, is prolonged or repetitive, then that's a sign there is a deeper problem. And cold compress or, direct discipline or enforcing a rule might not be enough, right? It might require warmth, like understanding, listening, really getting to the root of the problem. Especially nowadays when we hear a lot of our young people say that they are going through depression or a certain mental illness. Cold compress might not be enough. Enforcing a rule or a punishment might not be enough. It might require counseling, a listening ear, a supportive network, love. 'Di ba? So, wala lang, habang ina-applyan ako ng warm compress at kinukuryente ang likod ko at inu-ultrasound lahat-lahat, na-realize ko, bakit warm compress ang binibigay sa akin? Kasi chronic na. No, it's a product of, well, for one, genetic, because I have scoliosis, and number two, bad habits. Like, I have to be mindful of my posture now. Bad habits, carrying heavy bags, wrong way of standing, sitting, all these things. Which brings me to the second point that I learned from rehab, which is posture. I don't know, maybe some of you who are watching this took up dance or ballet or gymnastics or martial arts, and you all know how important posture is, right? And I once took ballet and dance classes, so I know for a fact posture is important. But as you grow older and sub-sub ka sa laptop mo, type. For those who work in parang office desk job, 'di ba? You sit a lot, you barely stand up, walk around, or exercise. And so you develop this, I'm gonna show you because it might help you, this protruding neck posture. And then because of that, did you know that your neck, the curvature of your neck should be like a letter C? And because of that, protruding, or let's say when you're sub-sub in your laptop, that curvature becomes reversed. It's called reverse lordosis. And that reverse curvature of the neck can cause neck pain, shoulder pain, upper back pain. So if you have chronic upper back pain, aside from maybe other, conditions like scoliosis, etc., you might want to check the way you sit and the way you stand. And so I learned from my doctor that this has to be pushed back. This has to be pushed back. And your shoulders should be down, chest out, and you should feel tension in your stomach because your stomach is your core. And I realized that because I have a poor core, my upper back compensates. Galing, no? Parang I realized that everything's connected. I mean, even a singaw. Diba? I mean, how many times have we had a singaw and it just totally ruined our day? Or, I don't know, you have a toothache and you have this radiating pain that just affects your whole being. I mean, it's just amazing how everything in our body is connected. And pain, as painful as it may be, is actually our body's way of saying, hey, help, there's an imbalance in your body. Certain parts of your body are doing more work than others. So, posture. Posture is something I can control. I can work on. I can do something about it. Scoliosis, I can't. It's genetic. It's with me forever and ever. Can't do anything about it. But my posture, I can. It's just so amazing. Diba? We have these, we used to have these discussions in our psych classes about nature versus nurture. I mean, nature, we can't do anything about it. It's predisposed, it's genetic. Ay, mali, nurture pala yun. Ay, hindi, tama, nature. Ba yun? Lito na ako. Nature. Pero yung nurture, that's what we have control over. And so that's the good news about rehab medicine. We can do something about it. So anyway, so there, I learned, push back my neck. So I have certain exercises where I have to use my own weight to strengthen my neck, my spine. And so there, that's posture is something we can control. It's something we can work on and be conscious. It's a conscious effort, ha. Even just standing and walking, no, I now feel more tension in my core because I'm allowing my stomach, my core muscles, to help ease the burden or tension that my upper back has been carrying for years because of bad habits. Yan. One other thing I learned about posture is it's also a sign of confidence, no? Self-esteem. I remember when I was in high school, I used to slouch. I remember slouching kasi niya ako. Parang pag chest out, parang feeling mo, yabang mo naman. Parang ang snooty ng dating mo, di ba? So because of that mindset, there's a tendency, especially for us girls when we were young, to stoop and to slouch, parang to think small of ourselves and to want to disappear from a crowd and not be noticed. So I realized posture is something we can control. And so, that confidence in oneself is also something we can control. So when the doctor was, fixing my posture, I mean, no one teaches us, right? Even if our ballet teacher told us stand up straight, they don't specifically teach us what standing up straight or good posture looks like. So while I was at the doctor, wow, he was like twisting my shoulders, bringing my chin up and, basta parang repositioning my cervical spine, whatever, teaching me how to stand properly. And it's weird. It feels so weird. Parang, okay, chin in, shoulders down, chest out, stomach in, butt in. Parang, okay, this is gonna take a lot of work. Like, it's like unlearning. Because your body is sort of, di ba? When you drive, when you sit, parang, na siya warmed up na yung upuan mo. Tapos parang, kulang na lang parang merong hubog na yung upuan dahil sanay ka na umupo na ganun. So there's a lot of learning to do. And this reverse lordosis, or in other words, the reverse curvature of my neck, which is causing me pain, it's gonna take another few years for it to go back to how it should be. So guys, if you have chronic upper back pain, please take care of your neck. I mean, masarap magpamasahe pero lang yun, topical solution lang yun, no? You might want to check also your bad habits, if ever you do have, in terms of sitting and standing. And take a look at your profile, side profile in the mirror, no? And see if you are actually standing up straight. So just to show you, it should be like this. like this. You don't have to hold it, pero parang just push it instead of like this. So when we type, yun, we tend to move our neck forwards, push it backwards, and shoulders down, chest out, stomach in. There has to be some kind of tension there to support your upper back, and butt in. Yeah, my x-ray was horrible. Pinagalitan ako ng bonggang-bongga. And the third thing I picked up from this whole rehab experience is that I have a deeper respect for our medical practitioners, doctors, of course, hats off to the doctors, but more than the doctors, actually, it's the people behind the scenes, the people who carry out or execute the doctor's orders, like the physical therapists, the nurse, even the custodians, di ba? Yung mga tao sa ospital na nagpapalit nung sheets, nung beddings bago ka humiga at mag-therapy, yung mga ganon. I went through the therapy kasi over the holidays, Christmas holidays, kasi saka siya sumakit. And I was amazed because some of them had to forgo their Christmas Eve or their New Year's Eve celebration. They had to be in the hospital. And parang, alam mo yun, parang, what do we worry about during the holidays, you know? We worry about, you know, what food we're gonna serve on the table, who we're gonna spend the Noche Buena with. And then you have these unsung heroes in the hospital who have to, you know, take care of the needs of the patients. And I was really, really pleased. So shout out to the physical therapists in Medical City. In the 6 visits that I had 6 different PTs, no? I wasn't stuck with the particular therapist. And it was an interesting journey to have allowed them to help me, to have allowed them to teach me how to correct my pains. And I guess it goes the same with the pains that we go through. We allow other people, you know, to help us ease that pain. We can only do so much in easing our own pain. But when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, especially to people who know what they're doing, it's their expertise, you know? I had 6 different perspectives of therapy, of the same routine, but different pressure, different approach. Their rapport was different. There was one super duper friendly physical therapist. What was his name? Gino. He was so makwento, and I was so distracted that I couldn't feel the kuryente on my neck. I didn't feel the pain. He was just excellent bedside manners. And then there was this therapist named Alex. He was the first. He was so thorough in teaching me each and every technique, each and every stretch exercise that I had to go through. And there was also Gian. She's so nice, so sweet. Um, you know, after the whole session, we talked for an extra 20 minutes about her dreams, and you know that she will be eventually working in Australia to fulfill her dream there. So parang these are people and sometimes we forget that they have families, they have lives, and yet they forgo these comforts. They make sacrifices for the benefit of the patients that they serve. So the next time you go to the hospital, or you know, go to the department store or restaurant on Christmas Day, New Year's Day, while we're enjoying a meal, while we are enjoying, you know, these services in the hospital, they have to forego their own wants and make sacrifices for us. So anyway, that was such a striking thing for me while I was going through the therapy. I mean, as much as I had aches and pains, I was also thinking about their pain, which was to make a sacrifice, because this is the vocation they chose, the vocation of healing. And healing, pain, sickness chooses no date in the calendar, it just happens. No? And I also mentioned that pain, no matter how painful it may be, may actually be the body's sign of saying, I need help. or there's an imbalance, it's a protective instinct or a protective feature of the human body. It's just amazing how God made us. So these are the things that I realized the past 3 weeks, past month. And today I'm just so happy that Dr. Rafanan highly recommended Dr. Bonifacio Rafanan of Medical City. He's physical med and sports medicine, rehab medicine. Yeah, he was so bright and cheery today, and he said, Miss Yumi, congratulations. The therapy worked well, and you've been doing well, taking care of yourself. You can now uh, do your own exercises on your own at home. No need to come back unless you feel a new pain, which I hope not. So, I feel so good that follow doctor's orders, believe in them, believe in their capacity, and things will work out well. There are certain things within our control that we can work out on, work out, and yeah, this whole experience just gave me a lot of hope.